Hello folks, today we are going to talk about my 2 years with the Lumix S5IIX. This bad boy here has been with me for 2+ years right now. I remember picking it up 2 years ago from the store in July because here in Finland that's where we started having it in our hands, and I think in Finland I was actually one of the first ones to actually get it in my hand. There are not many Lumix users here anyway, but when I got it and I started shooting with it, there was so many emotions because I was coming from the S5, original S5, and this camera, even though sharing the same sensors, which I don't even care, because I love this sensor. I don't care about rolling shutter or you know, not having IRE filter and stuff like that, which all mirrorless cameras in this age have issues with, you know, pollutions and stuff. So whatever it is, it is. But this improved pretty much on everything that the S5 needed to be improved on, right? So basically they tripled down every beautiful thing that the S1H had in this body here, plus adding the fan so you wouldn't have any problem with overheating, which it kind of evolutionary, right? Because nobody will ever think that you will freaking put a freaking tiny fan inside a compartment here. Like, it's just crazy. And the grip is amazing and everything. And then, you know, I think my favorite feature in this camera was the 3x2, right? The 3x2, oh gosh, open gate. That was probably the thing that I was least expecting, and that was what we actually got. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, there were two swans there. And they were the thing that I was the least expecting, but they were the things that we actually got that changed my way of shooting, because most of my client work, they want it delivered in 16:9 and in, you know, horizontal for social media content and stuff. So to have that 3x2, even though many people are just like, if you want it, just like put your camera in vertical, and I'm like, yes, but if your client want it to be delivered, you know, in two format the same, what are you gonna do? Are you going to like film it once and then okay, reposition yourself, let's shoot it again? No, because time is money, and I'm not gonna waste my time by repeating the same thing 2 times. So 3x2, for whatever people will say, it's useful. And many of these people, I think unconsciously, I'm just gonna say unconsciously, are saying that they don't need it just because they are loving brands don't deliver it yet. So I'm pretty sure that when they start delivering this kind of features, I'm pretty sure these people are gonna be changing their mind and just like, wow, this is the best feature ever that they have delivered. It often happens with, you know, other brands. When smaller brands deliver something, those people are always being pity, and then when they receive it in their cameras, they are like, yes, now this is the best thing we have received. Whatever. But I'm gonna do another video where I talk about how amazing this is actually for indie filmmakers. So like filmmakers kind of on the budget or even zero budget. This is an amazing camera for a DOP or cinematographer, however you want to call them, to use, especially because of dynamic range. Guys, the dynamic range of this camera is insane. I will show some clips to make you understand how insanely good the sensor is. And for Lumix to actually even improve on this sensor with the S1 Mark II sensor, it's crazy. But the problem with the S1 Mark II is, people, let's be sincere, the overheating issue when you have longer periods of recording time and when you are using the CFX type B cards, if they are not fully compatible. But even the one that are compatible, you're still gonna have that issue. So please guys, let's be sincere. Let's not stay here and say, no, that's not an issue. Come on guys, it is an issue. Let's be sincere. Let's be clear. Let's be open about it. I mean, even Lumix themselves that come out now and said it. You're gonna have issue with overheating when you're using settled cards a bit quicker and when you're using settled card a bit less, you know? And it's obvious, it's normal. They are freaking parking a powerhouse of functionalities in a small body like this. It's normal that you're gonna have an overheating issue if you don't have a proper cooling system. But then that will come with a bigger body that many of us don't want, right? Because many of us want to have so many features, but then we don't want to have a bulkier, bigger body. And I'm like, then you have to compromise. You want a bigger body? Then you're going to have better features. You want a smaller body? You're going to lack of features, right? So that is where I feel like sometimes we are so delulu that we are just like, we want more, we want this, we want that, but we want them all in this kind of body. But that's where this comes in, because this is functionality. Like, this works. You're not gonna have overheating issue with this, right? And especially if you want like a different version of this camera, which has the same body as the S1 series of camera has, the S1 2E or the S1E2. No, it's the S1II. It's basically this with that body, which I will have so much wished that this camera will have come with that body, like the S5 Mark IIX will have come with the body of the S1II. But at least now we have that option. And I'm so kind of triggered and pushed on like upgrading this body to that, but there is nothing more in that camera than this camera cannot do that kind of would push me to spend extra money to get basically this camera with firmware update features, right? The 32-bit float hot shoe, it's cool, but I will never use it. Like, I use mostly the hot shoe for YouTube at home. If I have client work, all I use this bad boy here, or I have other things, the zoom and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna take a super long cable from whatever and then plugged into the camera, right? Like, if I'm doing a documentary and I need a boom on the camera, that's different. That I have a totally different setup. But yeah, like, it's not something that I want. It's not something that I really craving. What I really would have liked is the screen. That's the only thing I freaking want. The amazing 4-axis tilt and then flip screen. That is something that that's something that I freaking want. But is it something that would justify spending that extra money? No, I don't think so. That's why I'm just gonna stick with this one and keep shooting with this one, because it's just amazing. I just love it. I just like, does whatever I need. I'm primarily a videographer. I don't shoot cars. I don't cars of video, or anyway, like fast-paced things. And if that is even something that I will shoot. I completely know that this camera has rolling shutter issues, so I'm going to have my head straight and know that, or I rent another camera, which completely will be a faster sensor, or I just know with how to position myself to shoot to combat that rolling shutter, right? So the main thing when you're buying this camera is to be aware of the limitation that this camera has, right? And many people that are angry because they feel like YouTuber has, lied to them and stuff like that because they weren't fully open with them at the beginning where this camera was being reviewed. I have received that too for some reason, even though I'm not involved on all of that Lumix gang thing. I have received so much hate from people saying that I wasn't honest in my reviews on like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, I'm talking about my experience, right? I'm not talking about your camera or how you use it. I don't know how you use it. I have no clue what are your needs. I have no clue. Like, you didn't write me in the comments, so okay, these are my needs. Done. Do you think this camera will be a good fit for that? That's a different conversation. That is me and you talking about it, and me telling you that, okay, for that type of function, most probably that camera would not be good. But you are not asking me that, right? You didn't come to me, you didn't ask me that. So you cannot come down on my video and call me a liar for me just talking about my own experience with my own camera, right? So that's how silly people have been in this last 2 years that I've been talking about Lumix cameras, right? But hey, much love to this and much love to you guys, for the new subscribers, for the old subscribers. I would love to know what you guys would love to see more in the channel, since I'm pivoting more, or pivoting, I think it's pivoting. Well, I'm kind of changing more this channel towards, more gear reviews than only focusing on Lumix. So stick around. There are some cool devices from, Chinese manufacturers, or even well-known already manufacturers like Neewer is starting to work with me. So these are cool things coming along in the years that I'm really excited about. So if you are new here, consider subscribing, because there are going to be so many more exciting things coming in the future. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for supporting me and for being here with me. And yeah, I'm going to see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. See you in the next one.